Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have the bodybuilder Luke. Luke is from Hull in England, in the UK. So, let's see what Luke has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Hello.
There we go. Right,
Yes.
we got there eventually.
Yes, you are here. Finally, we met. Finally, my God, we've been trying for so long.
It only took about 4 years to finally organize this.
It hasn't been that long. Luke, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time. After so long, we've been trying to do the interview with you.
All I can do is apologize on how long this took.
No, oh my God, I'm just joking, of course, not a problem at all. And so tell me, so today, what you've been doing today before we start again? What's been your day so far?
So last night I stayed at the girlfriend's. Long day yesterday. At the moment, I'm in the middle of prep for my first bodybuilding competition. So
Right.
at the moment, it's very, very hectic, as you can tell from trying to organise this meeting. But yeah, no, it's been a really good process. So today it was get up early, go to the gym for morning cardio. Did that, so it's 35 minutes on a bike, you know, just trying to get that heart rate up, burn all the fat off over the next few weeks for the comp. Got home, prepped all my meals for the next 2 days, made it all ready, because I'm at work all day tomorrow, so it's better to, you know, prepare than rush on the day. And then, what did I do after that? Then went to the gym, and then obviously scurried my way back here for this.
I was checking your stories a bit earlier, and I could see that you were working your legs today. Today was
Yeah,
legs.
so needless to say, I will not be getting off this chair for the entirety of the interview. I will not be moving. I brought my food just in case of how long we're going to be.
I'm glad you are comfortable. I'm glad. And okay, so look, where are you from?
So I'm from Hull in East Yorkshire in England. So it's kind of like the East Midlands kind of area. So
Right.
if you've got England, I'm kind of here.
Right.
So
And what's the best and the most challenging part living over there, in your opinion?
do you know what? I think we are very blessed in where we are. There's a lot worse places to be. Honestly, I cannot complain. I really don't think there is that much wrong with where we are. Don't know whether that's just because I'm quite narrow-minded. I don't open myself up to the world as much as other people. I will openly admit that. But yeah, I mean, I've always been one of these people where, you know how you have people turning around saying I was born in the wrong body. I'm one of these people that feels like they were born in the wrong country. Like I've always looked to America as like the greatest place. I don't know whether that's because of the lifestyle I've chosen. Obviously, bodybuilding is very big in America and stuff like that. But yeah,
I had an interview like a few, let's say last year, with a bodybuilder from America. I think he was from Colorado. I'm not sure, but we talked a lot for the interview. He was preparing as well for a competition, and I think if you go for, I'll send the link after. We can have a look, check it out. And besides the bodybuilder career, what do you do for a living?
so I am a sports technician at the University of Hull. So what that means is I cater for all the athletes that we have in, all the teams that we have. So any machinery that needs fixing, it all comes down to our operations team. So that's the basic parts of my job. I also am team first aider. I'm also a bouncer in the bars in our local city centre on a weekend. I'm not doing that at the moment, obviously, because of prep for the show. Like it's a very mentally draining job, and obviously working on the doors, you need a lot of focus, and that's just something I don't really think I can give at this point. So yeah, it's all about prioritizing at this point. But yeah, it's not a bad job. There's always, you know, as I say, bodybuilding is the main thing in my life, so that's the kind of career path I want to go down. I'm still new at it, but for the time being, you need to make money. I'm in a job. It's a stable job, especially during the whole COVID situation. We were very, very lucky, and we were furloughed pretty much 100%.
Yep.
Whereas a lot of my friends I know were stuck pretty much because they didn't have that opportunity. So I was very blessed in that aspect.
Absolutely. Okay, so through the interview, I'm gonna ask some questions regarding your bodybuilder career, some like things that I'm curious about. But and if there is any question, don't have an answer for, I always can change the question. So it's very relaxed and chill. Okay, no pressure at all. Right? Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, look, so welcome to William the Magic Box. Here my lovely box full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a Brazilian music just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first
Absolutely.
question. Let's do it. Right, Luke, let's go for the first question. Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. The first question is, what keeps you up at night?
Fuel prices.
Tell me about
No. What keeps me up at night? That's a very good question.
Are you kind of person that sleeps straight away, or you kind of take some time depending how your day go through, or if you have any kind of things coming up, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can spend hours and hours wondering things.
I think it's more what could I have done in the day differently. I always have like a reflection period at the end of the day, and how did I do it today? How could I have done it better? I'm always one of these. My favorite phrase is carpe diem, seize the day. And I'm one of these people where if I waste time doing something, it will bug me a lot. It's like, obviously with the lifestyle that I've chosen, you have to be very structured. It's very regimental. So if I miss something out, or I get up too late in a day, that's one thing that really, really bugs me. If I get up past 7 a.m. now, it really bugs me because I feel like I've wasted a good chunk of the morning. And that is something that genuinely will keep me up, in the fact that I've wasted 2 hours. You're never going to get those 2 hours back. You know, we're very blessed to have this life, and I feel like if you're one of these people that stays in bed until 2 p.m, why are you even bothering? You've got such an honor of being alive. It's something. What's the percentage chance of being born? It's like 1 in 7 trillion or something like that. Enjoy your day, make the most of your day. Don't be that lazy person that misses the majority of their day because they can't be bothered to get up.
I believe so. You are a day person for sure. Always been?
No, well, this is a strange thing. If me 2 years ago would have never imagined getting up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning to go and do cardio. I used to go out nearly every night drinking with my friends, and then I was that person. But now looking back, it's like you've probably missed weeks of your life being in bed.
Absolutely.
And again, now I look back, and it's why I always say to my friends, why are you getting up this late? Why? Needless to say, I don't have that many friends anymore because I'm such a critical person. But in the long run, it's one of these where I like to think, enjoy your day. Get up, enjoy the little things in life, because you won't get them back.
Absolutely, totally agree. I think that makes a difference as well, isn't it? Like when you appreciate those little simple things through the day, I think that's what helps you go in a better place.
Absolutely.
Good. Second question. Let's do look. Right, before the next question, tell me a little bit about your career as a bodybuilder. When did it start out? What was your big inspiration? When did it start?
I started bodybuilding a year and a half ago. So in that time, I've put on 30 kilograms. Whether that's muscle or not, I don't know. But I've made some very, very good progress in that year and a half. My big inspiration was there was 2 documentaries that I found. One of them was Callum von Morgan. I don't know if you'll have seen any of these. And it was about him. He's an Australian bodybuilder. He played Arnold in Bigger. So he played Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's based on Joe Weider, who was the founder of the Mr. Olympia contest.
Right.
So I watched a documentary on him, and it was pretty much talking about how he tore his bicep training, and he had a long career waiting ahead of him. Tore his bicep, went through all the rehab, was fine, and then a week later, re-tore his bicep and his quad. And he was out the game for a very, very long time, but then still powered through it and looked at the positives in life. And the other one was The King, which is a documentary on Ronnie Coleman, who is obviously one of the biggest bodybuilders of all time. And that was pretty much based on, if you look at him now, he looks nothing like he used to. Obviously, with the amount of injuries he's had, so many back injuries, neck injuries, etc. He's almost a shell of the man who he used to be. But how positive he is now, that was such an inspiration for me. So I actually started bodybuilding, pardon me, in the first lockdown. So I actually started taking my nutrition more seriously, and I started training nearly every day in the shed that we have out back, because we had some weights and stuff that my dad have.
Right.
So I just started training every day. I sorted my nutrition out, got myself a coach. And yeah, that's how it started really. And like, I've just loved the sport more and more and more, the idea of it and what it stands for. And it's not, I say sport very, very lightly. It's not a sport, it's a lifestyle. Whether people want to try and put it into that sports category or not, it's not, because you don't have that scoring system per se. There's a really good podcast called the Real Bodybuilding Podcast. It's a chap called Fuad. I don't know if you've seen it before. And they explain it really well. They talked about it last week actually, and they were just saying it's not one of these where you can, oh, I've played the game, I can go home and do whatever I want now. That's not the way it works. You are so strict in this type of lifestyle. You eat every 2 hours. You have to sleep 7 hours a day. You have to train. You know, all of these little things that make such a difference. If you want to be successful in this type of career, you're either in or you're out, because you're not going to get anywhere unless you're a genetic god like Ronnie Coleman. You're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Next question for you is, what did you think was the most challenging part of being a kid?
Socializing. I wasn't a very social kid. I didn't have the greatest time as a kid, I'm not gonna lie. I never mixed in with people very well. I was quite shy. Don't get me wrong, I didn't have the worst childhood. I did have friends and stuff like that, but I don't know, I've kind of enjoyed getting older, because I've always got on a lot better with older people. Like, a lot of my friends are like in their late 20s, 30s, 40s. I don't know whether that's because I left college and went straight into a job. Obviously, college being 16 to 18 here, rather than American college, which is 18 to 23.
Yeah, more or less 21. Yep.
Yeah, so I went straight into a job after I finished college. So I don't know whether that was kind of like an inspiration into the fact that I worked with a lot of older people, because obviously a lot of people in my work are a lot older than me. But yeah, no, it wasn't the worst childhood. But as I say, I've kind of enjoyed getting older.
Do you think that just because, as you said about not, you don't have like good memories about being a child, do you think that it reflect that this part of being a bodybuilder, something reflect with that or not? There's some connection there?
I was very self-conscious of how I looked as a kid. I mean, you will find this in 99% of people who go into this kind of life. It's, you either had self-confidence issues as a kid or something like. You ask most bodybuilders, they will admit the same thing. They didn't like how they looked as a kid. And whether that was because of how people thought of them. Nobody ever said anything to me to make me feel, oh God, I look awful. But it was more of a self-conscious thing. Like, I'm looking at, you know, even like the old He-Man action figures and Batman and all that kind of stuff, and how they've evolved into these big muscular kind of, and I just loved the way that looked. And I think part of me as a kid subconsciously went, that's what a man should look like. And obviously not everybody will agree. Some people like having the regular look. But I think for me, that's always been a big part of what I wanted to do.
I see. Okay. Next question. Let's do a look. Right. Next question for you is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
As being that person who made the most of every opportunity. I've said this numerous times to friends, family. They go, oh, why do you want to do what you want to do? Because I don't want to go down as that person. I want to be the person. The job, most people's jobs, it's a morbid way of looking at it, but you die, they'll have your job advertised by next week. That's not what I want. I want them to be like, oh God, he's actually gone. And a lot of people will say that, and a lot of people won't make it. There is no guarantee I will ever get anywhere in the career that I want to do, but that's not an opportunity I'm willing to waste. I will make the most of it. It's like, anybody can go and get a career, but you want to enjoy what you're doing, and that's what I'm trying to do. I want to look back in 40 years and go, hell, I made the most out of what I'm trying to do.
I see. I think set mind, I can see that you have very strong mindset. You know what I mean? That's what counts. I believe as well. I believe that whatever you do in life, if you really believe it, if you really put like your, you know what I mean, sweat, your tears, everything into it, there's no way. There's no way. Of course, again, of course, not, you know what I mean. Not everyone gets to whatever they want to get, but if you really believe it, it's already like more than halfway through the journey. Do you know what I mean? Just the fact that you believe it and you are put everything there.
Yeah. It's like my parents said to me. They were like, "Why do you want to do it? It's not secure." My parents are very traditional in that. They would probably prefer me to get a desk job, you know, making money, all that kind of stuff. But I turned around to them. I said, "I'm 21 years old. I don't need to make that decision yet. You know, if
of course,
I'm giving myself 5 to 7 years, and if by that time nothing has happened, because bodybuilding is not one of these sports where you can like do it for a couple of years and then you can get somewhere. Like you need to put years and years before you get anywhere. And it's not one of those where you do your first competition, you come last. No, I can't do it. Well, if that's the mindset you've got, then it's not really something you wanted to do. Like I will go into the show preparing to come last. That's the mindset I have. But when I'm in that gym, I train off to become number one. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to achieve. But again, my parents were like, "Oh, why do you want to do that?" Because when I'm 28, I've not made it. There you go. I'll find myself a career. Absolutely. I wanted to be in the military as a kid. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a combat medic. That was my dream job as a kid. I didn't grow up wanting to be a bodybuilder, but it didn't happen because of an injury I had when I was a kid. They wouldn't allow me to go in. So I then turned around and went, "Oh, I'll join the police." But because of the way that bodybuilding is, you can't be in the police force. Ronnie Coleman was an exception, but that was back in the 80s where certain things that bodybuilders do, I'm not going to explain it, but obviously you're going to know.
Yeah.
You could get away with it, which you can't nowadays, and that's not something I was willing to do for my reputation or our local department's reputation. It's not fair on either of us. Last thing you want to do is taint your local police. That's not the best idea in the world. So
absolutely.
That would be something I would look at in the future, definitely. But at the moment, I've got number one goal, and that's what I'm trying to achieve.
Very good. Good one. Next question. Let's do it. It's funny you say about you mentioned before that you've always been kind of involved with older people, you work with older people, and I tell you something now, it's a big reflection on you, because when I looked before when I invited you and I was looking at your profile and I could see some videos of you talking this and that, I would never say that you are 21 years old. I was like, oh my God. When I saw 21 there, I was like, no, it's not possible. Maybe it means something, you know what I mean? But it's very interesting because when I left Brazil when I was 19 years old, then I remember my friends at the time, they were 30, you know what I mean? All of them, they were like 10 years older than me. And when I was talking to people around me, they were like, oh my God, really, don't look like 19 years old. You look very older than, you know, it does help your mindset. You just absorb a lot of information that, you know what I mean? I think that's a good way.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, what was your lifestyle like when you were 19? Did you work a lot or?
Right. Do you have another hour? I'm joking.
You have as long as you want, my friend.
I'll tell you something now. Okay, when I was 19 years old, I had almost 4 jobs at the same time. I was working on my own. I was living on my own. I finished when I was 18. I left my parents. You know, Brazil is like America. We have states and capitals. Yeah. Anyway, so when I was 18, I finished high school. I moved straight away to the capital of my city. I was trying to go to university. And at the time, my parents couldn't afford me to like help with pay rent or anything, food or anything. They were helping me out a little bit, but not a lot. So I was working Monday. Monday and Wednesday. I was teaching English for children in a private school. Tuesday and Thursday, I was teaching at the time. Internet was started out and things very soft. So I was working Tuesday and Thursday, and it was like a computer school when they were teaching a few things about internet. Just because they use a lot of English terms, so they need someone like with basic English just to help them out. So I was working as well. I was working McDonald's like in the evening, and also in the weekend I was babysitting the weekend. That was my year before I moved to Portugal when I was 19 years old.
See, this is why I mentioned it, because I think that is a reoccurring theme. The people who act their age are the people who haven't got that older mentality. I mean, I'm the same as you. I had 4 jobs at one point. I was doing obviously the university job. I was also working in the gym, and I was doing 2 different security jobs. So I was working for Showsec, which is a crowd control company. So they do all the big events in like arenas and stuff. So say, I'm trying to think, if a band comes into the city, for example, so we would do Bring Me the Horizon, Slipknot, all that kind of stuff. So we'd do security for that. And then I was obviously working as a bouncer on the doors as well in town. So this is what I'm saying. I think there's that recurring theme of if you are mature enough to do that, and I was similar to you, not in the same extent, but my parents turned around to me when I was 18 and went, "That is it, right? You're independent now. We'll help you out, but you need to go and get a job."
There you go. Yeah.
The car and everything like that. They helped me out,
Absolutely.
but they said, and it was one of those where now, as a 21-year-old, I hate the fact that I'm still living at home. And a lot of people will be like, "Yeah, but you're not going to be able to move out yet." And I agree, but I'm one of these people where I'm like, I want to be that independent person. I don't want to be that person that's staying at my house until I'm 25.
I know.
It's harder than people think.
Absolutely. No, sometimes it's harder to live with your parents than you live on your own. Sometimes, you know what I mean? You've got depression. Yeah. And the thing is, as you said, when you are, if you're lucky enough, if you are you have your mindset as a teenager or even your age, just surround yourself with people like older than you. You learn a lot, you get a lot of experience as well. And with your mindset, you get more when you're gonna make a decision in your life, a big step, you're gonna feel more secure. You know what I mean? Just being there. So absolutely, I think it made me remember now when you said about 21 and everything. I said, "Oh, this guy, I'm sure he's kind of the same path as well."
Yeah.
Anyway, next question for you is: are you a dog or a cat person? And if you could be an animal, which one would be and why?
I'm a dog person, but it has to be a specific type of dog. I was staying at my friend's recently for a few weeks, and they had this big greyhound, and dear God, I wanted to strangle the animal half the time because he just got in the way. Because I'm a fairly big person, and like their kitchen was quite narrow, so this dog would just get in the way. And obviously, when you're up at 4 a.m., you're not the happiest person in the world. It'd just be in the way, and I was just like, "Dog, just get out the way." Yeah.
They say that cats they adapt to places and dogs adapt to people. They adapt to people.
Yeah, 100%. What animal would I be? Do you want to know? Like, this is the most common question. You'd think people would know the answer, but it's genuinely not something I think about.
I never think about this. Never think about.
Probably an eagle, as stereotypical as it sounds, purely because you get the best view. You're one of the apex predators. Nothing really hunts you.
Next question. Let's do it. Look, before the next question, tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, right. So my YouTube channel, guys, for those of you watching, it is Luke Bosworth. It is literally my name. I just found it easier than coming up with some random play on words. It's like yours. Yours is nice and it's simple, but it's fun. Like, it's these people that are like FouseyTube and all that, and I'm just there like, dear God, I'm not going to remember that. So, yeah, pretty much at the moment, mine is solely based on bodybuilding. That's obviously what I try and portray. I had somebody message me the other day saying, "Oh, why don't you do prank videos?" Because it's not the kind of thing that I want to, I appreciate everyone's like input and stuff like that. Like, it's more than welcoming, but that is what I am trying to put across is an introduction to bodybuilding, because I see a lot of videos on all these pros and all this kind of stuff, but you don't really see a lot of like beginners, like, and how they work their way up. So at the moment I'm working on a playlist. It's called The Road to First Timers. So the idea is it's from 14 weeks before the show, and I'm doing a weekly video, and it's pretty much explaining like how I'm feeling. It's like a vlog, so it's a little bit of what happens during my day.
Right.
They're only about 15-20 minutes long. I am still trying to improve my video quality at the moment. I am having to use my phone. I did explain this the other day. I'm not currently in the situation where I can afford like one of these cameras and stuff. So yeah, they are quite basic videos, but it was more to just highlight like you can see how I'm feeling based on how I look, pretty much. So that's the idea behind it. Is I tell you a bit about my day, what's happening. And yeah, it's more like a about me kind of thing. Seems to be getting some good responses at the moment, which is great. I've had some really supportive mates helping me out, trying to help me film and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it's anybody interested in having a look, please feel free to go and have a look. But yeah, we're just trying to find a market at the moment, if you want, see what people enjoy. But I'm trying to keep it as basic as possible. I don't want all this cinematic stuff. I want to keep it as real as possible.
And I'll tell you something now. I think it's the clever way to go, Luke, because people nowadays, they are kind of tired of those like perfection, everything like looks
Yeah.
nice. What people like to see today is just like your daily basis, what you do, what you expect. You know what I mean? You just put it out like normal, simple stuff. That's what's genuine stuff as well. I think that's the whole thing. People
I
like
mean, don't
now.
get me wrong, there will be hopefully progress in the channel.
Of course.
So there will be little bits where, yeah, if I'm making my food, I might throw in a couple of little cinematic views, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be one of these people where, boom, there's 5 different angles of me doing an exercise.
I
I'm
see.
literally going to be like, this is the exercise, this is how I'm doing it, this is what I'm eating, boom, there you go, go and do it yourselves.
No, absolutely.
That's what I want to do. But yeah, I'll
Absolutely.
just throw in a bit of flair if I get the opportunity.
Great, great. Next question for you is, if you could go back in time in one moment in your life, what that would be and why?
Ooh, so it would be, bar meeting my partner, obviously I have to throw that in there or she'll end up getting upset with me. When I was 15, it was probably one of the worst years, like in terms of like friends and stuff like that in school. And I went on a cruise ship and I met some of the greatest people in my life. Like one of my best mates, Sam, barely speak to the guy at the moment. That's just the way he lives in Toronto. So obviously I barely see the guy, but we spent every day together. There was a group of us, there was about 15 of us. And every single night we would go to the back of the ship. We'd get alcohol from somewhere. I'm not gonna name where we got it from, but it was the first time I ever tried alcohol. And it was Jägermeister.
Oh.
And we got a massive bottle of Jägermeister, and I swear to God, it was the biggest bottle I've ever seen. And one of the guys turned around and went, "Oh, mate, let's just have a shot." And he gave me a pint glass and filled it halfway up. And obviously, I'd never had a drink before, so I didn't know. And I was like, "Oh my God, is that a shot?" He went, "Yeah, man, yeah, that's a shot." I've never been so ill in my life. Being the party animal that I was, finished that off, did a couple more, was not very well the next day, let's just put it that way. But that week was one of the greatest weeks of my life, purely because it was such a close-knit group of mates. We still have a group chat now. We never message, but it's the fact that it's still there after, 6 years?
Oh.
And like occasionally we'll have like a message pop up every now and again. Apart from that, it's bone dry. But it was one of those where it's such a close-knit, it just stays with you.
Absolutely.
And it
yeah.
seems like such a small thing now in comparison to everything that's happened throughout my life. But at that point, it was the closest connection that I had with a group of people. And it was a brilliant, brilliant week.
And that's where you met your partner as well, you said.
Oh, no. So my other greatest moment was meeting my
Oh, I
partner.
see. I got it.
But what I was saying was, I don't want her to think that me
You
and
don't
her
want to be in
wasn't one of the
trouble. You
best
don't want to
things
be
in
in trouble.
Exactly, yeah. Jess, I love you. But yeah, so no, that was.
I know what I mean.
probably,
Yeah.
it was brilliant. Yeah, it's always one of those things that will stay with me.
Very good. And you still can drink Jägerbomb since then?
I don't drink anymore. Obviously,
yes.
because of
Of
everything that goes. I might have a cheeky one when the show's finished. Obviously, you need. A lot of bodybuilders drink a bottle of wine before the show. It just dries you out, makes you look a little bit tighter on stage.
Oh, wow.
But I'm a whiskey guy, so
Oh,
we might have to see.
welcome to the club. I like whiskey with Coke.
Absolutely. If we ever get the chance to meet up, we'll go for a whiskey and a cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question. Next
I
question
might have
for
to
you.
get this playlist off you.
I'll get to you. Right, next question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
Ryan Reynolds.
That was quick answer. Tell me about it.
He's the most beautiful person in the world. Any person who doesn't tell you that Ryan Reynolds is a god, I don't care. Like, he's the holy trinity of actors. And it would be Deadpool. Deadpool is my favorite film of all time. It's the sass, it's the sexiness, and it's the ass kicking. Like, you can't beat it. I'm sorry, but it is my greatest film of all time. If you sat me down a year ago, I could say the entire film,
Wow.
word
wow.
by word, because I watched it every day, and it was great.
Did you watch? There are two of them. Yes? The first one and the second one, isn't it? Or
It was
just
the first one. The first one I watched
It's the
like
best.
religiously
The first one's
every
the
night.
best. Yeah, the
It was
first
that
one.
and Goon. I don't know if you've ever seen Goon.
No, I don't think I have.
So it was
No.
Sean Scott.
But it's the same style, more or less, the same kind of.
No.
no?
So Goon's about an ice hockey player in Canada, but the idea is, I don't know if you know much about ice hockey. So goons are, it's a slang term for a fighter.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
it's literally based around him knocking people out in
I see.
ice hockey, but it's It's a really good film, and that was the other greatest film that I ever saw. Like they were probably weren't cinematic masterpieces, but I just loved them, and I'd watch them every night.
Very good, very good. I enjoyed the show so far, Luke.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's nice actually getting to sit down for a change. Like usually I'm just like here, there, and everywhere. So it's just nice actually having to sit down and talking to somebody for a change.
Thanks for taking your time.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm enjoying it.
For the next question, as you have a very restricted diet, yeah, because of your career, is there anything that it's difficult for you to get rid of your diet? Something that like a guilt pleasure, something that you like eating, or you know?
Well, obviously pizza, but that's like a given. I think that's anyone's. Pate.
Ooh.
As weird as it sounds, if I ever go out for a meal, I will have pate. I just love it. I don't know why. But yeah, I started having it loads when I was on my previous off season before I started prep, and I just grab tubs of it with like little croutons, and I'd just sit there and eat it just to like get my extra calories in. But yeah, that's something I really miss, and I don't know why. I've had real bad cravings for it for the last couple of days.
I see. And there is something that's, for example, that's part of your diet that you need to eat every day, but you don't like it. Something that's difficult for you to swallow. Something.
Avocado.
Wow, interesting.
I love guacamole.
Right.
But I have to have avocado with chicken, and I really don't like it. I don't like the mixture of the food. Like, I eat it because at the end of the day, like, when you're in prep, it's not about taste. Like, you can't sit there and go, oh, this is really nice. It's tough. Like, the whole point is it's there for a reason. You've got to eat it, and that's where it's got to be done. But, yeah, if I could change anything, it'd probably be that. Like, I'd make it into guacamole, but obviously you need to add other stuff, and then you're messing around with all your micronutrients and all that garbage, so...
Interesting. Avocado. I know I'm from Brazil and I grew up eating avocado every day, but avocado for me was always like a fruit. The first time I had avocado in a salad I never forget, 2007, when I went to somebody's place and they brought this salad with avocado. I was like, what's this green stuff? I said, the avocado. I was like, what? Avocado in salad? So for me, always being a fruit. But it's funny, it's interesting you say that because, for example, I like strawberries. But I don't like the fruit itself, but I like if I go to ice cream, or if I go to a milkshake, always strawberry flavor. But the fruit itself, I don't know. I just can.
You know, I think that's like my mum. She's like that with bananas. Like she likes bananas themselves, but she don't like banana flavored stuff.
I see.
And I'm like, I don't understand. It
boggles
my mind.
Yeah, for me as well. Because my family, she loves strawberries, but if I cannot eat the fruit itself, but if I go outside or eat ice cream or milkshakes, always strawberry flavor. It's weird. Anyway. Next question for you is, what is the most beautiful thing somebody has ever done for you?
Probably shouldn't have to think this hard. There's probably something that I should know, and I don't.
I think that's too much. That's why it's difficult to pick one. Let's put it this way.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it is. Oh, God. I think we don't really know what it is. It's more the little things that mean more to me. I mean, I got in the other week, and my partner had literally made all my food for me. And like, obviously, as I've told you, I've got a very, very strict regime. Yeah. And I got in, and it was there. And she does that a lot, and she did it before I started prep as well. I got in one night. Well, I was at work and I was messaging her saying like, "Babe, I'm having a really crap day. Like, I'm hating work. It was just non-stop. I was tired and I was cranky. I'm one of these hangry people. Like, if I get hungry, I get really, really moody. So you can imagine how I am at the moment. It's why we're staying in separate houses. So she stays at hers, I stay at mine, because I'm just constantly in a mood. And I was like, let's save our relationship. So you're gonna go home and we'll see each other a few times a week. And it works a lot better because obviously with us still being at home, it made no sense us like all being crammed into the same roof. So yeah, it'll be nice. It's why we're looking for somewhere at the moment, because then it's just us two. But yeah, no, I think it's the little things that mean more to me. I mean, there's never been anything like big. I mean, we've always supported each other in quite big things. I mean, I remember I was going to do a close protection course, so a bodybuilding course, bodyguarding course. And she had to give me quite a lot of money for that. Didn't end up doing it. because of COVID and everything. So I managed to get all of her money back, thankfully, but it put me like $2,000 in debt. So I had to pay all that off. Needless to say, I was working very, very many nights for that. But yeah, no, it's the little things for me.
Yeah.
And I don't show her how much I appreciate it sometimes. That's one thing that I do need to do. I've got a couple of little plans in my head. Now I'm going to make it up to her after the show. So
I'm sure she's gonna be happy to see that during the interview. When the interview goes live, she's gonna be happy to see that. She could.
That's why I'm not saying anything, because she will be watching this. Because I'll try and repost this on my page as well.
And do you always had her support regarding your bodybuilder career?
Yes, she's been the most supportive person. Like we've had issues.
Of course.
Like I'm not gonna lie. Like it is really stressed our relationship. More than I would like. But she's like never once turned around and said, like, I don't want you doing this. Like she's always been like, you can do this, you can do this.
Amazing. That's amazing.
And it is undoubtedly the most selfish lifestyle in the world. There is no disputing it.
Yes.
We don't get to go out for meals. There's very little I can do. She wants to go out walking all day. I can't do it because I'm tired. I'm hungry. There's always excuses that will come out. And it sucks, and I hate it, which is why I'm going to make the most of when the show's done, and I get those few months of off-season where we can go and do X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And I try to explain this to her, and it's why I'm so glad that she's so supportive, because she could easily turn around and go, oh, this is not what I signed up for in a relationship. But she's there every day supporting me, and I don't think she realises how much I appreciate it.
And it makes a difference when you have someone around you that supports you, even though it's not easy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It makes a big
difference.
Like
I am blessed. I've got her, and I've got some of my mates as well. Like there's my physio Dan. He was one of my mates from work. Like he's always there. He was always telling me to talk about it if I was ever getting stressed out with like training or relationship or anything. Like he's always been there. And I've got a couple of training partners as well, like Tom. I've trained with him non-stop. We started bodybuilding at the same time. Obviously, I lost contact with him because we started training at different gyms at one point. But we trained together today, and it was just great to see him. And he's always supportive, he's always trying to push me to do more. And it's people like that. It's trying to surround yourself with positive people who will do little things for you that mean the most.
It does, and as you said, it takes you in a different direction as well. It takes you in the right direction when you have someone there.
Absolutely.
It comes from a genuine thing, and you want to see your best. You know what I mean? So that's right. I have 3 questions left for you.
Ooh, go on.
Let's do it. You have siblings, by the way.
I do. I have a younger brother. He's 17. I think.
Do you think he's gonna go the same path as you or not?
Absolutely not.
No.
I've tried. I wanted a brother that wanted to do the same thing as me. He's not interested. The one thing I've always said to people is he's the academic one. I'm the physical one. I've never been a brainy person. I'm not going to pretend like I am. I've always been more physical-based jobs. He's a very, very smart kid. Like I will not take it away from him. He could be. I think he was interested in being a pilot at one point. He wants to do architecture. You know, all those kind of like things that you need to do well in, like in terms of academia. Like you need quite high grades to do all the jobs he wants to do. And I don't doubt he'll be the more successful one in terms of an academic job. But yeah, no, great kid. I should probably spend more time with him, but don't time for myself at this point. So,
good question for you now. What's your idea of a perfect day?
So many ideas. So is this besides training days? So if I could do anything.
Yeah, let's say for you, what's a perfect day? Let's say that we wake up, you know what I mean? You know those days when we wake up full of energy, so it's my day today. What would be like your perfect day?
I'll give you an off-season day. This is what I'm going to be doing when the season's over. Up at nice early o'clock, let's say Jess is with me. So we're going to be going for an hour walk. She loves walking. I hate walking, but it's one of those, if I've got the energy and I've got the food in me, I will do whatever. Go for a walk, try and watch the sunset. That's quite nice. Obviously getting up at like 4, you get to watch it. Let's get up, go and do that, get in, to do my cardio, like it's still got to be done. Come in, go for breakfast. We've got a really nice place called Village Green near where I live. It's like a little brunch place. Obviously, we'd have breakfast, not brunch. It's open early. So yeah, go for breakfast. Come in. What else would we do?
Watch that pool.
Absolutely, again and again and again. Absolute day. And in my perfect day, it would be a movie day. You know,
Just chill
out, order some
relax.
food, and then on the night maybe go for another walk. We have something called Hessel Foreshore, which is near the Humber Bridge,
Right.
which is like one of the big suspension bridges where I live in Hull, and you can walk along the edge of the Humber,
Okay.
and it's really, really nice. You can see the sunset from there. It's really nice view. That or go to
Oh yeah, I've been there once.
there you go.
Oh my God, I've been there once. You know, it's Scunthorpe. It's Scunthorpe. Yeah, it's Scunthorpe.
Yeah, it's near Scunthorpe.
Yeah. My one of my my flatmates was my God, like 10 years ago when I went there. I remember this place where you were saying that I could see the sunset. I remember that about the bridge as well.
It was the biggest single span suspension bridge in Europe at one
Yes,
point.
the Queen was there. That's the operation. I think the Queen was there. Yeah.
She was at the university a couple of years ago, opening the medical centre.
Yeah, there you go. I've been there. Yeah, you see one of the.
Well, if you ever pop by, you'll have to give me a message, and we'll go for.
Absolutely.
meal or
And,
something. Yeah.
but yeah, it was cool. I remember going to the bridge and walking around and Hull as well. Walking around. I've got some good pictures there. Actually, it was one of my first Facebook profile picture. This picture I had there.
No way.
Yeah. But anyway,
That's brilliant.
so walk around there and have a day.
Yeah, honestly, it's more of a chill out there. Just be nice to like chill out, get some food in me, and then just enjoy a day rather than being rushed around all the time, because that's just what it is at the moment.
Yeah, I think nowadays we are so busy with our lives. The door is so fast that when you have a chill day, it's just like you go like, wow, that was a memorable day.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, sure. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Right, next question for you is, what bores you?
Excuses.
I like the answer. That's so true. That's so true.
I can't do this because of this. Right. Okay. If it's a good excuse, then fair enough. But
Yeah.
I remember coaching one person for a month, and he was like, "Oh, I can't do this today," and I told him where to shove it pretty much, and that was the last client I ever took on, because it was such a stupid excuse as to why I couldn't do it. But I think it's laziness that annoys me. It's like I've said to you, I like making the most out of things. So I think when people, try and mess around and don't make the most of the time, that really bugs me.
Yeah, I agree as well. Sometimes when I have friends around, when you have best friends around, you can be yourself and you can tell them off.
Yeah.
When they come moaning about things, I go like, look at me. Are you sure? That's do you want to talk about it? I go like that, and they know sometimes they don't moan around because they know I'm gonna fight back somehow. Do you know what I mean?
Whenever life is bad, the way I always look at it, there is somebody worse off than you. Whatever is happening in your life, there is always somebody worse off than you.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think there's always a way to approach life. There's always a way to say things. There's always a way you can take off. There's always a choice as well. There's no excuse. I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, let's go for the last question. Ready?
Yes.
Before the next question, I'd like to ask you a question. There was a moment through your bodybuilder career that you thought you go like, okay, not about excuse, but you went like, that's tough, and it almost took you in a different direction. There was, what I mean? Do you reckon like a moment when that happened or not?
There was never a moment where I wanted to stop. There was a few moments where, obviously, with the competition coming up, it's like I've told you, I'm very, very like self-conscious about like how I look and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of those where I have looked a few times and gone, I don't feel ready. Mm-hmm. But that's why you get a coach, because they will tell you if they don't think you're ready, they won't let you do it. They turn around and go, you're not ready for this.
Interesting.
in my head, a lot of the time, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm not ready for the show. I'm not ready. Like, I need a few years." Because sometimes guys do need two years to have an off season to put size on. I mean, I'm quite blessed. I like to think I'm quite big for a junior, so like an under 23. But yeah, it's the second guessing that makes you stress out. Obviously, like I'll get people messaging me saying, "Oh, you're making great progress" and all of this stuff, and I'm like, "Where?" Because you look at yourself every day. It's something you naturally do. Like I've got a mirror as soon as I get out of bed. Like I see it every day. I'm still that skinny kid I was 2 years ago. So for me, it makes no difference. But that's the worst demon is self-doubt.
I see. I think sometimes we are our worst enemy as well.
Exactly.
I believe sometimes you look there, and sometimes as well you need to be kind to yourself and believe in others as well. Sometimes they have different eyes that we do. Do you know what I mean? They see from outside, and sometimes we don't have these eyes sometimes. So I think sometimes we need to give a go and listen to them.
Yeah.
Ready? Last question is: what does your best friend do that comforts you the most?
Just supports me. We support each other. We're like each other's emotional cushion, if you want. So it's almost like I will post a story, and if you can tell by my tone of voice, he'll message me and be like, "Right, what's up with you?" Interesting. And I'm just like, "How the hell do you know there's something wrong with me?" And it's the same with him. Like I can always tell.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these people that gets best friends very easily. Like you have to have done something to class as a best friend. Like it's like brothers almost. You know, you can't just throw that term around lightly. You know, you've got to have some kind of meaning.
Absolutely. I believe best friends, you don't choose it; it just happens naturally. You know what I mean? It's a chemistry there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like people. I think people sometimes presume that you have to know them a long time for them to become your best friend. But that's not it. I've only got maybe 3 best friends, and I've known them different lengths of time.
Absolutely.
Some of them less than a year, some of them more than a year.
Yeah, and some of your best friends as well. Yeah, some of your best friends. Sometimes you talk to something about another friend. Sometimes you talk. You feel more open to talk about something else with the other friends. You know, so there are no rules. But if the chemistry is there, the connection is there. It's
like he messaged me the other day and said, "You know what's great about us?" And I went, "Go on." We can not speak for 6 months and then we talk and it's like we spoke yesterday.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's great because no matter how long he was the one that took me in when I moved houses for a little bit. Like I stayed here on the weekends at home and then I went there for the weekdays. It made more sense. Like I was getting too stressed out here, and he lived a lot closer to the gym, so I could go and train in the morning and everything. Because it literally took 20 minutes off my journey, and it just made a lot more sense for me in the meantime. He's having a kid now though. That's why I've had to move. So they're expecting this week, so that's exciting.
Very good.
Yeah, his kid's my goddaughter already. He's already got one. He's got the second one on the way, and he's my age. Like Christ knows how he.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Yeah, he's a ladies' man.
My best friend. Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've known him. How long have I known him? So we played rugby together. How old were we? 16. So yeah, I've known him about 5 years.
Wow.
It's like I said, we spent when we first met, we spent every single day together.
Wow.
We'd play Xbox together. We'd go out for food. We'd do everything. I remember the day before I went to Australia. I went to Australia for 3 weeks 2 years ago. And the night before I went, so I had a 7 a.m. flight for Australia. And he messaged me at 9 p.m. the previous night. We're going out. Get your stuff on. I went, sorry, what? We're going out. I went, like hell am I? 2 hours later, I'm in the middle of a club, dancing my off. It gets to 2 a.m. and I've got my top off in a gay bar in the centre of Hull. I behaved. Let's just clarify this, but yeah. And needless to say, I was in a very, very, very frail condition the next morning. I slept nearly the entirety of the plane journey. But what was worse, it was a 2-flight there.
Yep.
So I had to get off in Dubai and then get back on another plane. And I almost missed the plane because I fell asleep in the airport.
God.
It was, the worst idea, but he's that kind of person. He's a bad influence on me. But again, he has been, since I started bodybuilding, he's been the most supportive person. He's that dickhead that'll turn around and be like, oh, let's go and get Mackies. Yeah, you know I can't. And he'll be that person that orders takeaway and eats it in front of me.
I know.
But, if I tried grabbing a slice of that pizza, he would smack me in the face and be like, shut up and get on with it. Absolutely. And that's what I love about him. He's one of those where he knows what I want.
Absolutely. He wants the best for you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
he wants the best for you.
Yeah, that's Brian in a nutshell.
You made me remember a situation now. My best friend, he lives in Canada. Actually, he had a baby as well last year, and I'm the godfather. I haven't met him yet because of the don't go anyway. So his godmother, his grandmother passed away 2 years ago, and she was very close to her. They were very close. So he flew from Canada to Bordeaux. He's French. Anyway, so I just booked one night just to go there to see him, just for one night from London. So I just got a plane straight away. I just spent the night there with him. He wasn't feeling very well because of the loss. Anyway, and the last night, so it was funny because he was flying next day to Canada and I was flying to London. And I said to him, okay, I have two options now. Or we can go to bed and relax, or we can go for a night out for dinner and have a drink. And he said, okay, let's go for a drink. And the same situation as well was like our flight was
100.
7 o'clock in the morning, our flight, and it was like 3 o'clock, we were already kind of getting the hotel. You cannot imagine. And he had a video saying, okay, I've got now 12 hours to go back to Canada. And he was smashed, anyway. I know.
So this is the thing, it's like...
Those stories.
It seemed like such a good thing at the time, but now I couldn't imagine anything worse than a hangover. Like, I really can't.
Yeah.
The worst thing I have to experience is like being hungry. Like, dear God, I couldn't be hungover anymore because honestly, I reckon if I had one shot, it'd kill me off. Because my alcohol tolerance is like it's non-existent anymore.
Oh my God. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking.
This is dangerous. Right, here we go.
Ooh, let's do it. Let's start with family.
Family. Cohesion.
Money.
None.
Love.
Hate.
Life.
Precious.
Sex.
Fun.
Politics.
Uninvolved.
I like this word, uninvolved. Religion.
Complicated.
Fear.
Privilege.
Right, friendship.
Important.
Okay, desire.
Lust.
Regrets.
Plenty.
Success.
Earned.
Happiness.
Sometimes.
Wish.
Success.
Okay. How about if I say home? One word.
Heart.
Okay. And the last one now, bodybuilder. One word.
Me.
Hey, good one, good one. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely partner and I'm going to ask her, tell me the most beautiful thing about Luke and tell me something that he needs to improve on. What do you think she'll tell me?
Beautiful thing about me. In a twisted kind of way, how honest I am. Like, I can be brutally honest about things. But it's one of those where I've always said to her, I will never ever hide anything from her. Like if I mess up, I will always tell her. Because that's just the way a relationship works. I think too many people nowadays give up on relationships because they see the ideals in social media. Social media is a crappy thing. As brilliant and as helpful as it is, it's awful. Because people give up too easy nowadays. They have one argument and they go, oh, it's not perfect. It's not like The Notebook. I want to end it. Well, you're never going to be happy then.
Yeah, absolutely.
If me and her ended our relationship based off arguments, we'd have been ended long ago. But this is it. You've got to work. You've got to work for relationships. They're not easy all the time. That's just the way life is. But nothing's easy. Yeah. Anything worth having doesn't come easy.
Absolutely, totally agree.
And then something I need to improve on: making an effort. I think with the way I am at the moment, I can make her second best. And I've been brutally honest about it. Like, I have turned around to her and said, at this point, me doing well with my career is one of the most important things in my life. That's not saying she's any less important.
Of course not.
See, I wouldn't be with her if she wasn't important to me. But I do agree with her in the aspect that I need to make more of an effort. Sometimes I think because it's such a selfish lifestyle, I'm too busy focused on trying to win and become successful that I can almost take it away from her, and it isn't fair. And it's a lot of self-reflecting that I need to do. But I am trying to get better. You know, it's like the little things. It's like I said to you, the little things that count. So at the moment, it's just me trying to do that.
I see. And if I would ask the same question to your best friend, the one who got the baby, what he would say? The same answer? So the best thing would be
not reliability. I'm very, very unreliable. Yeah, you know from my bloody timekeeping. Right, you would think with such a structured lifestyle I'd be able to get here on time, but the one thing you will learn about me, my friend, is I am the most unorganised person in the world, if it is not written down in my bloody mental plan. Probably just how much like we're there for each other. Like, yeah, I might not be the most reliable person in the world, but if you need me, I will be there.
I see.
Cool. And the thing I need to improve on is self-awareness. Like, realize how much I've achieved from where I've come from. Because
listen to your friend.
I always whine to him about, oh, I'm not big enough. Oh, I don't look good enough. It's got bigger X here. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, my mental health's playing out. Like, that's just the way I am. I don't believe everybody who says it has it. I think it's one of those where it gets thrown around too easily nowadays, and it really annoys me because there are people out there who genuinely struggle, but because you've had a bad day, you're thrown around, oh no, I've got my mental health. It's not, you're just lazy.
I see.
And it's one of those where it takes away from the people who genuinely are suffering. You know, like, there's people out there with bloody PTSD and all that kind of stuff, and they're not getting a say in because everyone's just like, oh, you'll be fine. They're not. But because there's so many people going, oh, I'm upset about this. So I'm not one of these people that goes, oh God, life's so tough on me. But I will be very self-critical, and I think that's the one thing that he points out in me.
I see. Listen to him. Sometimes listen to him, for sure. Look, let's play now Luke in the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question.
What is your primary goal in life? What do you want to have achieved?
Right, that's right now. It'd be the easy answer. I think that's the same way when you're talking about your bodybuilder, your passion, your goal, your strength to eat is the same about this YouTube channel I'm working right now. I go to bed thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. I'm eating, I'm traveling. Everything I do, it's all involved in that. You know, it's fun. It's very interesting because, as you know very well, when you have a passion, when you have something in your mind, and it just takes your day. It takes your, it takes your time. It takes everything in a good way, in a good way. So I believe that, my answer to you is that everything I'm working right now, everything every day I'm breathing, and everything is about this channel. It's just something that if you would ask this question, let's say before the lockdown, actually we start out at the same time as well, because before the lockdown, I didn't have an answer for you. I would be like thinking, trying to understand or try to get a question. But as soon as the first lockdown started, when this idea literally came to my mind, doing a run in the park, that's when I thought, oh my God, that's something that I want to do for life. So that's my answer to you. It's just I'm so into it, like 24 hours, like into this channel. That's it's something beautiful. It's something beautiful that can genuinely, and I'm doing my best to get in a bigger proportion.
So, in terms of like growing the channel, would you always want to stay on YouTube, or let's say in 5 to 10 years time they said to you, right, we'll give you a space on NBC or I don't know, any channel.
I see.
For like a sit down, you know, like Steve Harvey and all that kind of stuff. Would that be something you'd be interested, or do you like the idea of social media?
No, absolutely. I think this is, for me, this is kind of a platform. It's a platform that it get in a different direction. You know what I mean? I think out of this, a lot of possibilities will come. You know, that's why I'm working hard on this, to get this in a bigger proportion, because I've got other projects as well based on this one. I've got other projects that I'm just not waiting, but I'm just finding the right time for me to get those projects involved as well, because I think it's like an open book. You know, when you started out something genuinely, like full of passion, full of desire, there's always some possibilities will come along somehow. So far, a lot of things already happened, you know, in the past. A lot of things happening right now as well. So
I've seen your channel grow, and it's great. It's really good.
Yeah, it's so interesting, look, because as I told you, when I started out, this channel was something just to have a laugh, to have a fun, to have some. Yeah. But it going in a direction that I was expecting. I don't know if you saw my website. So many people around the world, they are sending me like feedbacks, like, oh my God, you cannot imagine.
This is why I was so interested, because it's like I said, it's such a simple concept, but it brings people together.
Yes, that's the thing as well. Absolutely. As you said, it's a simple idea, but it's just connecting people around the world. That's the whole thing. I just hope you had a good time.
It was brilliant. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much. No, thank you so much, because I know you're very...
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks so much for taking your time as well, Luke. And I'll tell you something before you go. You are, you know, I just talking to someone so young. My God, you're such a young person, but with this mindset, like, believe me, carry on like that, you're gonna achieve anything you want in life. Because I think nowadays, when I look back, if you have this mindset that you have right now, you know, make a plan, you know, you are going in the right direction, never change your way. You know, sometimes, and you say about being selfish, sometimes you need to make sacrifice in your life. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And this is
you
the
never
one
get,
thing.
Yeah. You never get nowhere without sacrifice. That's what I realize as well. And sometimes you need to sacrifice big things, you know, but you try to manage, you know, try to go, but again, focus on your goal, in your dream. There's nothing that's gonna go against it, and keep on like that, because I'm planning now, like in a year time, I'm planning, like, I'm trying to do interviews like William Matchbox season 2, and I can't wait to do like a second round with you, like in a year time, just to see how much you grow, how much you know, because I can see how much you desire things, how much you want something, and you just go for it, you know, you just go, and that's never change, because I think you're going the right path.
You are my friend.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And before you go, just share a positive message, a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Anybody could have it, why not you? And it was something that Brandon Harding said, who is a bodybuilder and he's a YouTuber. And it's a really nice quote, and it means what it says. Anybody could have it, why not you? If you put the effort in, it's like what you said, it will come to you. You just got to give it time.
Somehow as well, somehow. And I totally agree. I remember before I left Brazil, when I was 19 years old, 2 weeks before, because I need to manage to get the ticket, the plane ticket was a long story. It's a book. I'm going to write a book about it. And I forget, I come to my mom, I said, Mom, I have this opportunity to go to live in Europe, in Portugal. Do you know what she told me? My son, I understand now, because she wants to protect me. She didn't have opportunity in her life. She said to me, my son, I know you are very, you have this willpower way of see things, driven, but you need to understand one thing. Some things in life are impossible. She told me that. 2 weeks after,
the same thing.
2 weeks after, I came to her and I said to her, Mom, I got the ticket, the plane ticket. She was like, what? How did you manage? You know what I mean? So when I look back, it's like sometimes you need those no's as well to make you go even to work harder. To go, you know what I mean? You need those. So I understand. It just made me think now. Thank you so much, my friend. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thanks so much. Okay.
Thank you very much, Will.
Keep in touch.
Bye. And you.
Take care. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.